I know you're tired. I know you're hurting. And I wish I could say something that was classy and inspirational.
You can do it!
But that just wouldn't be our style.
Welcome to Project Reclamation, where you rebuild, re-energize, and reclaim your life.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Man,
what a feeling. Man, we are always, when it's you and me, we open it up with some music because I think both of us just can't sing. JB's got the pipes of the
JB's
group.
the one that can actually sing.
JB's
he
got
never
the pipes
sings
of the
on
group.
these episodes. It's
No.
just you and me.
He's real professional.
It was like there was that. Was that our last episode when we opened up with like that Aerosmith song?
And then we went into jock jams or something.
And then it went into jock jams, yeah. And like I just some person I've never met on Facebook. They sent me like a Facebook message, and it was like, "Nice singing."
Oh no! I thought you were gonna say he sent you a request for some money because he was the son of a deposed king of Nigeria, and then he was just asking for some sweet.
No, that
sweet
happened
cash.
too, but that was real.
Oh,
wasn't it? Wait,
I don't know, man. How much money
he
did you
said
send
if
him?
I just sent him like a couple of
$15,000?
$1,000, then I'd have $1 million in my bank account next week.
Have you checked your bank account?
I'm just kidding. I'm not that stupid.
Zingers. Yeah. We. You know what they say though? It takes 10,000 hours to get really, really good at something, like be a professional. So we do this a few shekels of seconds at a time.
So
we're gonna be at that pro level, Garth Brooks style, in just a few decades.
So my question to you is this:
Yeah.
If it takes 10,000 hours to get good at something, when we hit episode 10,000,
Yeah.
what are we going to be good at?
Well, I think we're gonna be good at just laying flat in our graves because we're only on episode 78.
Oh yeah, it's going to
and
take
it
a
is
while.
taking a
God
while.
Damn. Even Rogan only has he has like 13 or 1400.
Don't
or
worry
something.
though, listeners. If
We're coming for you, Rogan.
We want generational
Just
listeners.
kidding.
That's
We
what we're
love
trying
you.
to do. We're trying to do family, and we want sons of sons of sons to listen to this podcast.
Not Sons of Anarchy, although they're
No,
cool
no.
too.
We want them to listen to this podcast as well.
Dude, I love Charlie Hunnam.
That's what your tattoo says on your arm. Yeah. But
and I have his face on my back.
yeah. Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, and then I have Ron Perlman's face somewhere else in my body.
We'll leave that to the imagination of the sweet, sweet audience.
Yeah.
Oh man, what a feeling, man! What a feeling. We are back again.
Oh, what a feeling.
What a feeling! We are back again on this sweet podcast. Holy
true.
smokes. And if you're wondering, where is JB? Where is old Jables, McBables? He is currently undergoing some treatment. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding you, Jables.
He's being treated for exhaustion.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. JB's doing fine.
JB's actually working. So
See, what you have to realize is that as we do this podcast,
Podcast.
we're just gonna prod. Ew, gross.
That's for our Chinese
Poking and
audience.
prodding.
All podcast.
Podcast. So thank you, sir.
Look at all of that. You didn't need to add all that extra now. I'm the one who can do it, bro.
You know, while I'm sitting with you, I figured I'd take advantage because
You
I
might
feel
as
like
well.
I can be racist as long as you're here.
Well, that is probably by
That is-
association.
You're like, that is
Racism
so
by
fucking
association.
inaccurate, Tim. No.
Racism by association. Check.
Race-association.
I haven't seen his movies. But.
So anyways, we are working on quite a few different projects in addition to this podcast. So we will continue to give you amazing content, or as amazing as we are capable of delivering. JB has not gone anywhere. He's just working on some other stuff, and we're all working on some other stuff. So
Yeah.
more about that later.
JB is by far the most successful one of the group, and he's got some extra affairs to attend to.
He's
and
got
far be it from us.
not actual like extramarital affairs. Just
no.
affairs in general.
No. He's
but-
too good for that.
Speaking of
Yeah.
extra projects, shout out to our podcast network,
What?
Podbelly.
Tim, wait, what was it again? Maybe I didn't.
Podbelly Podcast Network.
My ears are no good. Hoorah, like Al
we're so
Pacino.
excited.
My eyes was no good.
I have been listening to, I haven't gotten through all of them yet, but I've been trying to listen to all the other podcasts on our network.
Okay.
I like them. I dig them. In the
love
near
it.
future, hopefully we will see some collaborations.
Ooh. That's a hot new word out there right now with this new generation. Collabs.
Yeah, collabs. And in the podcast world, I have learned pretty recently the word swapcast.
I don't even
Which
know.
is where you have like the host. It's not like, I believe it would just be guest host if you have one person on some other, but if you have like the hosts from one podcast and the host from another one, and maybe they put it up publish it on both podcasts, both streams, then it's just called a Swapcast.
I thought you were gonna say when one host from another podcast comes in and goes to the same studio as the other person, and then they start just podcasting at the same time, and then I was gonna say that's like a perfect storm, starring Mark Wahlberg and George Clooney.
Pretty much. And then if you had like a third one there, or it'd be kind of funny if it was a Swapcast where like we just did an episode of a different podcast, and then they did an episode of ours, and we were not like
that's so funny. Like, Dax Shepard, we're coming for you, armchair.
Armchair.
Yeah.
Actually, I heard his podcast is good. I haven't listened to it.
Oh, I've listened to a few episodes from it. Yeah.
I heard his episode where he had Harbor. What's his name? David Harbor, the guy from Stranger Things.
Oh, I'm not so sure.
I think it's David Harbor. Sorry, Dave, if I'm wrong. Although if I'm wrong, then you're not Dave.
It's actually Reginald.
It's Reginald Howard.
How did you get that so?
I don't fucking know, dude. Anyways, I heard that was a good one. So yeah, shout out to Podbelly. Go check it out, podbelly.com. There's at least 17 podcasts on there. There's some pretty good ones. I will not divulge my favorites. You got to find them out yourself.
We just got an invitation for a Swampcast. It's not even a swamp. Yeah, dude. It's not even a Swapcast. It's a Swampcast.
It's actually where you record on a one of those big fan airboat things.
That's right.
While you traverse the swamp and try to avoid being bitten by an alligator or a snapping turtle or a fucking python or whatever the fuck else danger, death lurks in Florida or wherever.
Most of the time, you can't really actually hear the audio. That's so hard to adjust the audio because the crickets,
the fan boat, and then the cicadas. And
the cicadas and the crickets, and then the bullfrogs just going.
These cicadas. Wait here. Let me plug in some cicada here.
Hey, this is Steven Potter from Swapcast.
It's like one of those fucking things. Like this is Al Roker reporting on Stormwatch 2019. I'm out here in the hurricane. Which reminds me, you know what movies I caught? I mean, I'd already watched like the first few.
Don't lie to me. Was it?
What is the most horrible movie that has to do with weather and sharks?
Sharknado.
Yeah. I watched the last two.
I was like, you said, what's going to be the horrible movie?
So
and I was
bad.
like, Elizabeth Berkley's Striptease.
So bad. I think it was called Showgirls.
Showgirls? No. Where am I thinking
Striptease
of?
movie too?
No, I don't know which one it was.
I don't fucking know, dude.
Because I know Demi Moore was in one of them, and I was like, I don't know which.
Well, maybe that was Showgirls. Man, I don't fucking know.
It doesn't matter. Jesse Spano. One of my favorites.
And then I'm sure I don't know what happened to her after that.
You know, the sad part is that everyone liked Kelly Kapowski, and yeah, she was beautiful for 1990 whatever standards. But you look at her now, and you're like, all right, cool. Everyone gets whatever. And then Tiffany or Lark Amber Voorhees or whatever.
She look good?
Well, I think so, but she also kind of had like some weird TMZ mental kind of break, to my understanding. I don't know actually. That's kind of reported through the grapevine. But then,
Elizabeth Berkley was super hot like 10 years later.
They always said like she was just nerdy Jessie Spano, but then like I gotta be honest with you, like the whole time it was just all because of like the way they dressed her.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then as soon as she like came out of that whole and then Leah Remini, who was like the Leon Carosi's daughter, Stacey Carosi.
Yeah, and she was like the summer camp girl that like.
And then later on, she ended up joining the the Church of.
The Scientology,
and then she ended up breaking it. Yeah, and I was like, Jessie Spano or Elizabeth Berkley might have been the best one out.
Yeah, you might be right.
The whole cast and crew. I gotta be honest with you.
Although Remini held it together while she was doing the Scientology thing, because I mean, the show King of Queens was on forever, and it was pretty good.
Oh, was she in Scientology? I thought she had left Scientology by then.
King of Queens was. I mean, King of Queens has been off the air. I mean, maybe I have no idea. It's been off the air for a long time though.
Yeah, well, probably. I remember.
I just love Kevin James. He's hilarious.
Kevin James is hilarious, and I really, really do like that film, Hitch.
Hitch. That is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
And dude, the end dance scene of that movie is fantastic.
Dude, hey, look at it. It's actually called Showgirls. You're right. And this is what she looks like now. Good for you, Elizabeth Berkley. I'm proud of you, dude. What a that's better. That's way better than some of the other ones, dude. You know what I mean?
Damn.
I know, right?
Damn.
I invested my money.
But what are you doing right now, Elizabeth Berkley?
Not that one, but yeah.
Hey, Elizabeth Berkley, you know what?
Do you want to become?
Do you want to come on our show? Because we would like to have you on our show.
We're totally happy to have you on our show.
We won't talk
about anything
what
you've
been doing. You know, maybe she started a family, and like that's what's important.
By this photo, it looks like she totally did. It looks like she started a family with a guy, Adrian Grenier, who is from whose character Vinny Chase was from Entourage. But the guy is. But that's if the character was a real live person.
He kind of looks like if Adrian had a baby with Sam Rockwell.
Which one's Sam Rockwell again?
Speaking
it doesn't
of Sam
matter.
Rockwell, if you enjoy rom-coms, but you don't love rom-coms, and you kind of like action films, and you would like a rom-com / action film to watch.
All right.
Maybe watch it with your lady or your man if you are a lady.
Just
or
watch it with
your
someone.
man if you're a man, or your lady if you're a lady. Whatever you got. Watch it with somebody you care about or don't care about. Watch it with a stranger. I don't fucking know. It's called Mr. Right, and it's kind of a quirky.
Sell it.
It's with Sam Rockwell and Anna Kendrick. My friend Jenna made me watch it.
Okay.
And I loved it. It was great.
All right.
It was kind of funny, real quirky.
Mr. Right. Is it where can you find said movie? What kind of
it's on I don't know, Netflix or Hulu or something.
Oh, okay.
It's not an old movie, but it's like within it's probably a couple years old. I don't know.
All right. Well, shit. That's awesome, man.
So wait, did you see who Sam Rockwell is?
No. I haven't seen who Sam Rockwell is.
I'll find you a picture.
I don't want to see him. I don't need to know who Elizabeth Berkley could have potentially married, what the guy she perhaps looks like. The guy that she married. You get what I'm saying, audience and cast.
You just want to pretend she's still single?
No, I mean, also at the same time, like, she's just an act. I mean, she's an actress, not like saying she's just an actress. Oh, okay, yeah, I definitely don't know that guy. I think I went to college with that dude.
Yeah, look, that's
he
kind of what
like
he looks
every
like.
Regular.
And he looks like anyone you could have gone to college with. Yeah. But in a good, I mean, yeah, he's a good looking guy.
No. My whole thing is that I mean, actresses and actors, great. They're pursuing their dream, hopefully or ideally. Like, I don't think you ever fall into that industry just by yourself and, like, you don't go through all the rejection. But certainly, I don't they're amazing people because they can memorize a lot of stuff.
For sure.
I don't necessarily honor that job over any other job in the world,
Dude, one movie I watched that was really good. Well, someone was like, you have to watch Black Klansman. I thought it was pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I liked
I heard about that movie.
But I really like, what's his name? Denzel's kid.
Oh, Michael Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He uses his middle name, too.
Michael B. Jordan Washington.
Whatever. Anyways, he's pretty good. And then it's the dude who plays Han Solo's son in fucking the new Star Wars.
Oh, okay.
I forget, Adam Driver.
You know what? When I was younger, like in junior high, I used to be you could tell me a bunch of movie trivia and stuff like that, and I'd be like, oh, that's because but it only lasted from like 1984, 85.
All right.
To like maybe 1997. And honestly, I was unstoppable. But then I think I just like kind of like found other stuff to like kind of like I found other things to occupy those wrinkles in my brains with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I
don't necessarily. Need
I just
to know
feel like
this
I don't
stuff,
watch that many movies. So when people tell me a movie and it's actually good, I'll just fucking throw it out here.
I can't even remember another movie that was like just bang.
Another movie
like,
that someone
wow,
told me to watch
I
that I thought was really good was it was called Shot Collar.
Okay,
it was Jamie Lannister from fucking Game of Thrones.
All right, is it about the Mexican gangs? And
no,
like,
it's
prisons?
about this dude who they have a couple of drinks at dinner. He's like a Wall Street guy.
Okay,
runs a light. No, I mean, he wasn't hammered or anything. It was like they were kind of joking around in the car, and he turned his head for a second and ran a light.
Yeah,
ended up killing his friend. I'm not really giving anything away. Basically, he ends up like a guy who really like it was kind of an accident.
Sure,
he kind of fucked up. Like he shouldn't have gotten behind the wheel, but like not like it wasn't malicious or anything, but he ends up going to prison. And because it's like a violent crime, he went to like the prison with all the big boys, the bad ones. So he had to kind of like basically gang up. So who you're going to gang up with if you're this fucking white dude? Like you're going to gang up with the Aryans or whatever you call them. So then, of course, he ends up adding time to his time. And he's not a guy who like was looking for power or anything, but he ends up kind of rising through the ranks of. So he goes from like this mild-mannered like Wall Street dude to like he just becomes the shot caller.
Isn't that the funny and hilarious and most defeating thing in the world is that like you do have to go, if you do go to prison now, I've seen a bunch of like those Nat Geo like prison shows, where they go and like, you take a mild-mannered looking dude and he was just like there because like, something, obviously you're there for a reason. I'm not gentrifying. I'm not siding with criminals. You know what I mean? But you're there for a reason. But then
then the behaviors that are necessary to survive
when
you go to
get you more
security
time.
Prison, it's not going to rehabilitate you. Now, I mean, maybe the crimes of the people, maybe they've decided that those violent crimes are unrehabilitatable. But still, it's like, is prison doing anything good for anyone?
Well, I mean, I think it's keeping the certified criminals,
I'm not saying we shouldn't do that, but maybe is there a different way to do it?
Oh, you know what? My understanding of what China does, and forgive me not, I've only been there once in my life as a tourist, but like they give you re-education camps, you know what I mean? And I think they just fucking make you do manual fucking ass labor. You don't have no connection, no calls to nobody, and you're out in the fucking field like just hauling rocks, and then they re-educate you based on like, hey, you want to do that? You're gonna backbreak work for you don't get no pay. This is it.
And I don't know the answer, man.
And dude, I gotta be honest with you. If we did more of that stuff, maybe like that kind of
more deterrent than.
Oh, dude, because what was it, Sheriff Arapaho or something like that in Arizona? You like sleep outside in that whole big old camp.
Fucking tent city.
And, tent city, and it's like 120 degrees at night. No one gets really any good rest.
That'll deter you,
dude. And then you think about like, oh, I got here because I was drunk driving. I'm never gonna get drunk drive again, you know, because if you spend 4 weeks there, 3 weeks there,
I understand like having basically just like locking people up in cages and letting them act like animals if they're all there for like the rest of their life. But if like this guy's trying to serve a 10-year sentence, like, is there something we can? And I don't know the answers, and I'm not necessarily saying I do. Nor is that what this fucking podcast is about. But I'm just saying, if someone's only going to be there for 10 years, you know. If they're 25 when they go in, like they're 35 when they get out. Like, let's make that person a more, I don't know, if there's a way, let's try to make that person a more contributing member to society when they get out than to just have to become a fucking hardened criminal by the time you get out. So all you can do is be a hardened criminal.
No, I'm totally about that too. Yeah, I totally agree. I think that honestly, you do need to have like those education programs, and you do need to have like some type of, I don't know.
Well, like, yeah, dude, like you're so like,
but then to be
if
real
all the
with
movies
you.
and stuff are true, like if you and I both went to prison for something, we couldn't hang out. We'd have to like join our different race gangs.
That's so funny. I think, and it's like the sad part is that you like go like, you go, I wouldn't do it. I'm not gonna join no gang. Don't worry, I won't do it. And then I was like, no, there's no way you can not join a gang,
dude. Because the
you
alternative is either getting killed or beat up or fucking raped every day.
Yeah. Oh, you're siding with the whites now, Steven? Shoot.
Oh, you're too good. You're too good for the Asians, and then the whites would be like, we don't want you because the ones who were like, I don't know, man, dude, I don't know.
Dang, bro, we just kind of dipped into something real heavy.
This is not a very reclamation-y topic.
No, but the reclamation is, hey, man, if you've been in that situation, we want to hear from you at projectxreclamation.com. We want to know how you survived it.
I'm interested, and for people who did come out the other end and then did, you know. There's a lot of stories about it. I mean, you know, what's his name? Joey Diaz is a good one. He started his comedy career in prison.
Classic.
So yeah,
captive audience.
Maybe maybe since this is kind of like an amuse-bouche, maybe we need to do an episode about someone who's awesome who actually spent time in prison but did not let it ruin their life.
Oh, well, all right. Well, yeah, I hope I hope that we aren't taking this lightly, but yeah, I hope that it didn't ruin anyone's life. But at the same time, we hope that obviously, I don't know, when you like are away for 10 years or 5 years or even 10 weeks, yeah, God, I hope it like really, really kind of corrects you. But who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? God, you know what else who knows about? I know about being...
So you know what you don't have in prison?
I was trying to do a segue, but honestly, I was thinking about, you know what else I do know about prison, though? I know that you get, like, one jumpsuit uniform, and then you get, like, a pair of sneakers, and actually, you know what I'll tell you, though? I'll be real with you. This is not, before I forget, I actually had to take care of this dude that got beat up in prison, and then apparently he got jumped, and then he lost consciousness and all this other stuff, so he arrived to me. And I go, oh, okay, what's up, man? Tattoos on his face and neck. I don't know, probably gang-related. Who knows? He was wearing a sweatshirt, but then when I rolled it up to try and draw some blood, I saw that he was tattooed everywhere, and I go, okay. And he looked Latino, but I don't know. I mean, you know, he could look...
He had, like, face tattoos of, like, Hello Kitty and, like, an ice cream cone.
I've seen people with Hello Kitty face tattoos, and I go, oh,
weird.
God. I was like, yeah, you're cute now with that. But you're going to turn 40 one day, man. But anyways, and so one of the things that I know is that he was locked up the entire time. He was chained to the bed, and he's like, "Oh man!" And you know what? He was the most respectful person. And I go, "Okay, cool." I was like, "Hey, Mr. X, you know, or whatever. Hey, how's it going? You know, my name is Steven, you know, whatever." And then I remembered he's like, "Oh, thank you very much, sir. It's very nice to, you know, like, yes, any information you need, please ask." You know, he's very, very nice, and I thought he was just gonna be all tough as nails and all that other stuff. And then, I mean, he had two security guards or two. I guess prison guards with him the entire time, and I was like, how bad is this dude? And then I was like, oh man, how long you been in, like, you know, I have to ask a series of questions.
Yeah.
So I go, hey, did you have any international travel in the last 30 days? I don't know when he went in. He could have went in just last week. And he's like, no, I haven't been out for 10 years. And I was like, okay, damn it. I was like, I felt bad about that.
Did you tell him, like, I'm so sorry, I just have to ask these questions?
No,
Like,
exactly. I had to ask these questions. And I was like, some of these questions you have to like, oh, which sexual identity do you identify with? And I'm like,
God.
I know, right? You're like, crap. Do you do any drugs? And he's like, I'm
in
how do you want me
prison.
to? He's like, I'm sorry, I can't assume any of these questions. But anyways, long story short is that I remembered he had his like standard issue, gray shorts and gray sweatshirt and like white shoes or whatever. And then I remembered he had like left, or they had like taken him away. And then while he was being taken away, I was wheeling him outside to the prison van, and I was like, he was the most respectful person in the world, because I think prison guard was telling me, yeah, if they get out, they don't dare fuck up, or else they're never gonna get out for like a medical exam ever again. And then two, they're just happy to just fucking be outside for a minute.
Yeah, and I mean, I've always said, I've not really so much anymore, but I mean, I've had friends or friends of friends in the past who were involved in some not so great things,
unsavory things.
And there's like two kinds of like those people, like tough guys, or they don't have to be it doesn't, regardless of whether they're gang members or not. But there's two kinds of tough guys. There's guys with something to prove and guys with nothing to prove.
Yeah.
And the guys with nothing to prove, like, he's got nothing to prove, so he doesn't have to prove to you that he's a tough guy because he already knows it.
Yeah.
Those guys are usually pretty cool as long as you don't cross them. It's the ones that, like, people that think they have something to prove. Those are the ones that always like weirded me out.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, dude, these guys are like, it's like a loose cannon situation.
Yeah.
But
you know what the funniest part was though, as we were like putting him back in the van, he's like, "Oh man, so this is what it feels like to be outside and free." And then the prison guard and I like looked at each other though, and we were like, "Yeah," about the freedom thing, because I was like, him and I were both like, we both work like long ass hours. We don't even see the sun some days. I don't know. At least you get, I don't know, grass is always,
At least you don't have to worry about anything.
I was like, yeah. The prison guard and I were like, yeah. We're both like, the prison guard wasn't allowed to go back home until this guy went back in the cell. And then I was like, I'm not allowed to go home until, I don't know, 11:30. So I don't know, man.
But there is a certain
no, but freedom is freedom, absolutely.
There's a certain,
I'm not making fun of
a
it.
certain number of things we get with our freedom that we like to call
comforts.
Yes.
Creature comfort.
Creature comforts.
Tim, isn't that the name of this episode?
Yeah, I feel like we have a lot of episodes where we don't even actually necessarily say the name of the episode.
We don't.
On the
We
episode.
make you guess.
Fuck it, dude. But yeah, so we wanted to talk about creature comforts, and I think it kind of staved from I don't know. I watched a lot of Mindhunter today just because I had a day where I didn't really have much to do except clean, so I kind of like had it on while I was cleaning.
All right.
Doing some laundry.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, after Mindhunter, I think I need like a fucking palate cleanser.
All right. And you think that by talking about creature comforts, this is going to cleanse you out?
Yeah, and then we just ended up talking about serial killers and hardened criminals in prison and shit. Although, fun
Welcome to
fact,
Project
I found out
Reclamation.
that Tex Watson, I'm not going to tell you who that is. If you don't know, go look it up, is actually still in prison, and he's housed somewhere in a San Diego prison.
I don't even know who Tex Watson is.
Fine, I'll tell you. He was Manson's right-hand man. He was the one who actually carried out the crimes that Manson.
I've heard that some of the Manson girls though that helped commit the real crime in itself, they're already out. Like
I think they are.
They were like out as of like 3 years ago, and then one was like shopping at Walmart, and then like one of them like was approached by one of them TMZ dudes, and she was like, I don't have nothing to say.
Well, that's so weird, and I don't know the details enough to talk about it, and this is not a serial killer podcast,
and this is also not a legal podcast.
No, but it's a
Illegal.
weird thing to me because Manson took the brunt of it, and supposedly he orchestrated it because he had all these people under mind control, but he did not actually kill anyone.
But mind control.
But everyone thinks of Manson as a serial killer. He
didn't do it.
He didn't do anything.
But what's the mind control though, bro? Because like
Apparently
I gotta be
he's
honest with you,
really
if you
compelling.
could brainwash somebody, then I'm
Well,
sure
dude, go
that they
look
could
up the
be.
Nexium cult, dude. That guy's fucking brainwashed to a T.
I don't know.
He brainwashed a bunch of people.
I don't know all these cults like you do.
Well, I think also, like, dude, when it comes to like brainwashing and hypnotism, I think there's an element of somebody wanting to. Somebody who is able to be brainwashed is somebody who's open to it, or maybe even wanting to be controlled. I mean, come on, there's an element of that in like organized religions, or like why did people join like Jonestown or like the freaking Heaven's Gate or any of these fucking cults? Like, why do people join militias? Why like people want to belong to something? They want to be told something, whatever that something is. And if you're diabolical enough, you know to target the right people. Like, oh, these type of people are probably looking for parental figures, and so they're gonna latch on to that. There's plenty of fucking guys and probably girls who do that in their dating life.
Yeah.
They find people who, I don't know, they're looking for something to fill. But How do we keep getting off of our fucking topic, dude?
Oh, well, but maybe that's comfortable for them. See what I did
maybe,
there?
Oh, dude, you're right. So that is comfortable for them. It's comfortable for them to belong to something.
Yeah.
And it's comfortable for them. So we were talking about this earlier.
We're really
there is wow, this is very stream of conscious. Bear with us here.
Hope you're enjoying the ride, Project Reclamation listeners.
It's a roller coaster, man.
Strap your belt in. Here we go again. Here comes a downturn.
I think that because it was interesting. You said something about how like we strive to be comfortable, and I'd be that like financially or kind of in general, or
have
maybe in a relationship that is comfortable,
food
in the fridge. Like we strive for that, and that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
But then I think we also we turn to our comforts, be it comfort foods or whatever, when it's kind of like a hug for your soul.
So one of the terms that my dad always taught me is don't rest on your laurels, right? And I had no idea what the fuck laurel meant, and I still don't. But long and short of the long is that, if you rest around and you only do the things that are comfortable, then maybe you don't advance yourself. Maybe you never grow.
Right.
If you only do the things that you're good at, you're only going to be able to do those things, or you're only going to be good at those things. And so with that being said, it's just like, I don't know, you really, really do work for a long time. Like I would say 99% of people work towards just kind of getting that house or getting that cush job to where they can just like say, hey, I got steady income now. I don't need to worry about where the next paycheck's coming from. I don't need to know where the next meal's coming from. I'm good. I'm fine. And I know that my kids, although I may not be able to give them a rocket ship ride to the moon, I know that I can certainly pay for whatever or help spend or help buy whatever they're asking for or whatever they want, and I can kind of help it that way. But that's kind of where my mind's kind of going with it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I know I worked very, very hard to kind of get into a more comfortable state because at some given point in my late 20s, I had kind of thrown away my like career and my life and my goals. And I just was like, I'm going to start over again. Well, guess what? Starting over is really, really tough, And I was just like, and I had to move back in with mom and pops. And I was like, oh, this is even tougher. And then I wanted to I remember just like hitching rides around and like not driving around some shitty car that was available whenever I had the chance, and then really just spending whatever moments of my paycheck on like just beer, to kind of like soothe my soul a little bit. And I was like, man,
yeah, because that works.
Well, yeah, exactly. It totally works 100% of the time.
Yeah.
But I remembered also, I was just like, man, I really, really wish to God that my life could be a lot better than this. And at this point in my life right now, it is better than than it used to be. Could it be better than this? Absolutely.
Right. But
am
I mean,
comfortable right now, and am I like really, really kind of forging the fire? Am I stoking the fire to get it all hot again, to pang this piece of metal again?
I think there's ebbs and flows to it, but I mean, you took a chance, and I think it is important to not be too comfortable all the time, because then you're not taking any chances.
That's right.
And then you're not failing, and if you're not failing, then you're not trying anything.
Yeah.
So side note.
Yep.
The term "rest on one's laurels."
Okay,
the laurels that are being referred to when someone is said to rest on his or her laurels are the aromatically scented Laurus nobilis trees, or more specifically, their leaves. The trees are known colloquially as sweet bay and are commonly grown as culinary or ornamental plants. That's ornamental, Steve, not oriental.
Okay.
The origins of the phrase lie in ancient Greece, where laurel wreaths were a symbol of victory and status. Of course, ancient Greece is where history and mythology were frequently mixed, so we need to tread carefully. The pre-Christian Greeks associated their god Apollo with laurel. That much is historical fact. As this image of Apollo wearing a blah, 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 blah. The reason for that association takes us into the myth. So basically, I think you got a laurel wreath as a trophy. It was your fucking trophy.
Like when you won or
so
you
like
have that
you won
championship.
Something. So to not rest on one's laurels means don't be happy with one victory, basically.
Yeah.
Like just because you did something cool, like doesn't mean that you should just like sit on it for the rest of your life.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not advocating actually sitting on a trophy or a wreath of laurels, because I don't know, that might be uncomfortable.
Well, no, but think about the donut that you sit on. I mean,
the like hemorrhoid donut.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe if it's a wreath,
it's funny. The things you sit on are a donut, and then my buddy used to sell these like low air loss pressure relief pads that go over beds in hospitals or chairs.
All right,
and they called that one a waffle.
A waffle.
So you're just sitting on
because it looks
pastries.
like a waffle.
It's the one. It's like a big
it has
pad,
indents in
and it has a bunch of like holes.
Square
in
holes.
It.
Okay.
Yeah, and then it has and then the air is always moving around. So if you're someone who's like got neuropathy or whatever, or you're just bedbound, you're not going to get like pressure sores, basically.
Well, let me ask you something, Tim, because I want to change this up a little bit, because I know we're kind of drifting. But what's something do you feel comfortable in your life right now?
No.
Okay. And then what? Like, you don't have to get no specific numbers, no specific, people.
I mean, yes and no.
no specific whatevers, but like, why don't you feel comfortable? Like, what is something that makes you
there's
uncomfortable
something
right
that there's the things that make me comfortable are, the food in my fridge, the roof over my head,
Sure.
this dog laying on my foot, you, Steve.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess from a very sort of two-dimensional standpoint, I am comfortable.
All right.
But I would like to be
personally,
better.
Okay, what do you think? I mean, obviously, finances, sure, or
I
more
mean, I'd
faith
like
or
to
more
have
health or more
financial
whatever.
better. I'd like to be a little bit healthier physically, maybe a little bit healthier spiritually. I mean, these are all things I'm like, there's days I'm better than other days, but these are all things I'm kind of working on.
Sure.
I try not to let myself get too comfortable because I feel like that's a bad thing, and I think we just talked about that.
No, for sure. I look at it always as this: is that like I have an opportunity to see people on a daily basis, and I'm like, all right, cool. I think I'm better than that person, or I'm healthier in this situation, or I'm healthier in that way. I mean, I think the biggest thing in the world is your health, right? Because I really, really genuinely do think that like if you're unhealthy and you just have a hard time, you always get fucking short of breath or something like that whenever you walk or something like that. Boy, that's, I'm better than that, but I figured as much. Like, I don't know. It's comfort is it's having a house, it's having a place like 4 walls to kind of like come back to and not sleeping on the street,
When comfort is nice, like today, like I said, I didn't really have much to do, so I, did some laundry, did some house
you don't have to
cleaning
have
needed,
7 jobs.
I don't need to go to my third job. I could just kind of hang out and make some carne asada, so Steve could come over and eat a taco or two.
Yeah,
I had time to arrange all my hot sauces from least to most hot, so that Steve could have a little hot ones experience. But
I would say that,
I guess I'm someone who I'm not comfortable being comfortable.
Okay. And
I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
At least for me, it works for me.
For sure. Okay, so then and I would say that because you're in medical sales, you can't just say like, oh well, my numbers, I made my little goal number of $1,000 a month.
I love it when you like, especially if you have like, oh, you close out the month great. You're like, I closed the month great. Then two days later, it's the next month, and it's just like, well, just hit reset on that fucking game. It's like you just beat Zelda, or I don't know. Sorry. Red Dead Redemption 2, whatever.
Where's Brett?
Whatever new Destiny or Call of Duty game came out. Sorry, guys, I don't play video games. I'm getting
sounds like it to me.
Getting hate mail right now. So it's like you just beat that game, and then it's like you start from zero again. Yeah. So I think sales kind of keeps you in that.
Yeah,
but just in general, I think it could probably be a mindset that drives people nuts and gives people anxiety attacks and sends them to your ER. But for me, I think it works.
For sure. I would say this is that I'm certainly very, very comfortable. We live in a very, very comfortable part of the country, and by all accounts, like you're still living in this this condo of yours. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I don't see a tax man breaking down the door or anything like that. It's nice. It's genuinely very, very nice to have all these things. But I'm one person that like, I was really, really driven, but I feel like I've taken my foot off the gas, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's right now, it's just I always think about bodybuilders who work so hard, when they're young, lifting 70 pounds, doing bicep curls, 700 pounds, bicep curls, just trying to grow and grow and grow. And then there's a certain point where for some people, maybe it might just stop. Like, maybe you're not Mr. Olympia, maybe you're not Mrs. Olympia or whatever, Miss Olympia, so you just kind of stop it. But then now what it really, really takes is maybe you really, really like your body, and it's about maintaining what you already have, meaning maybe you don't go 75 reps on something, maybe you go, 10 just to kind of keep the muscle pump there and, to keep the muscles around, or even, sometimes it's really, really hard to do all that upkeep and always be pressing forward, because Arnold Schwarzenegger is not as big as he once was.
Right.
And it's hard to keep pressing forward like that all the time.
Well, I think also it comes down to, we've talked about this when we were talking about, be it failure or goals or happiness or whatever. I mean, all of our fucking topics, they all swirl into one giant.
That's life, baby.
Thing. But I think it's the matter of allowing yourself to be comfortable and enjoy the things you do have, but not get so comfortable where you just stay there.
Yeah.
Unless that's what you want to do. I mean, if that's what you want to do, if your goal was to, have a job that's steady pay and provide for your family, and you're at that point and that's where you want to be, then by all means.
Yeah.
But, if there's more you want to do in life, then do it. Because, I think we've all heard what is that? How does that whole thing? Like, if you work your entire life, then you get to the end and you realize you never actually lived your life.
I think that's just so tragic. But yeah, that's a terrible saying.
It happens a lot, though, especially today.
I'm sure it does happen a lot. I think there is like something about But I just think for me, it's so hard to always just keep pressing, and keep pressing forward.
Well,
and that's probably why you find a lot more 20-year-olds in college, than you do 80-year-olds. And that's just because it's hard to keep pressing forward.
There's just some people who are just that driven. I mean, you look at someone like The Rock or Ryan Seacrest or Gary Vaynerchuk, and I don't know necessarily like The Rock or Gary Vaynerchuk's stance on things, but I know that those are guys who they never, ever take breaks. Like, they're just always working. But I do have a friend who might know something about Ryan Seacrest, and his whole thing was like, this kind of like the opportunity to do everything I'm doing is not going to last forever. So I want to take full advantage of everything so that when it ends, I took full advantage of it.
Isn't that so funny? I'm so glad you brought that up, because the one thing that always makes me kind of smile here a little bit is that I'm not big into music, but I can respect the fact that like there are certain artists that used to play at the Santa Barbara County Bowl, right? And you and I know that place well, because you and I, if you can believe this or not, Tim is about maybe $3 almost 250. You're 250, right? Either which way, you're a solid hunk of man.
I'm headed there.
Okay, well, no,
I'm closer to 3 right now.
Okay, but then and I back in the day, what was this? Post high school or even in college? I was
if we were talking about like high school and just post high school, I was probably in like somewhere between 250 and.
Do you remember us working those concert?
Yeah,
right. We would stand by for the concert thing. Anyway, short of the long, is that some of these people who are big music artists, right? Boy, you got to strike while that iron is hot, man, because you get that you get to play out the Hollywood Bowl or something like that, or you got to go play Staples Center. Play that shit out, dude. Like, don't be all like, I need to take a break. I'm so, whatever. Because, you'll get a break eventually. You will get a break eventually.
You'll get a break that's not of your choosing.
Yeah. But I mean,
look at JB's last employer.
I don't know who it was, but nevertheless.
We're not going to say their name.
About them, yeah. But they went from playing where they play where now?
They went from playing like amphitheaters and stuff to not doing anything.
Oh, okay. Dang. Sometimes the rug gets pulled out from you.
Yeah.
Right?
So while the rug is under you,
keep on
do
flying.
what you can, especially if you have a career like that.
A strike while the iron's hot. And so, sometimes it's like really, really hard though, because sometimes you don't feel like you're creative anymore. Sometimes you are feeling like you're burnt out. But I think it's just the really, really tough people, the people that we talk about now, like The Rock and Ryan Seacrest, or people that keep on constantly reinventing themselves to keep on being on the front page again, and who don't seemingly appear to get burnt out. Maybe they have also techniques in which they use to kind of recenter themselves or refocus themselves.
They also have millions and millions of dollars. I think that helps a little bit.
And that will always help, right? Because I think you can invest in better care practices, right?
Anthony Robbins has a great quote. He's like, money doesn't, what is it? Money doesn't buy happiness, or something about like, money doesn't fix your problems, but it allows you to arrive at your problems in a lot more style, or something like that. And I was like, well, that's true.
And so that's like something so huge though too. But the people that we really, really talk about, and the people that you emulate sometimes, like The Rock and Ryan Seacrest, I mean, they might have figured it out, better than the other million or thousands of really, really, truly successful people out there. And that's their gift.
Then there's David Goggins, who probably still sleeps in a tent just to punish himself. So he remembers what it feels like to suck.
He sleeps on like a bed of coals outside his $1 million
or like a bed of nails. He's like, I just want to know what it's like to be in pain. I never want to forget this pain.
There's some people that are so driven by seeing like how far they can test their body, dude, and that blows my mind. Because
dude,
you're like, you don't have to run, but I'm going to.
Like him or that guy that they call the Iceman.
Yeah.
That
Chuck Liddell?
No. He's one of those guys who I think he has some physiological mutation to his body, or he can run barefoot through the snow and shit.
Yeah.
And they did some test on once they did this show a while back. It was Stan Lee's Superhumans. It was people who really have a quote unquote superpowers.
A gift.
Yeah, and his was they tested him by putting him in an ice bath, and he can endure it for way longer than anyone else.
Yeah.
And his vitals he can slow down his heart and his blood pressure and everything. It's dude, the guy's it's crazy.
There was a lady that was a swimmer. I remember this, and it wasn't on any kind of that's incredible, but it was just they were just scientifically trying to figure her out because she could swim in the coldest of coldest waters in a regular bathing suit. And mind you, it was still cold for her, but she could really, really do it. Well, if you and I just were even in the air of that, on the deck of the boat, we'd be like, fuck it, I quit. I don't want to do it. And then I remember they looked at her and they were just scanning her body, and they said that she had the most evenly deposited layers of fat all over her body. You know what I mean? And by any standard, she's no supermodel. You wouldn't find her on Sports Illustrated or anything like that. But her gift was, and this is kind of a little bit of a topic.
So you're saying she was kind of like a seal.
No, but it was just like, like people don't think, oh, you're not beautiful because you're not beautiful towards my American standards or my East European standards or whatever standards you may have. But then, fuck beauty. It's like she has a cool gift that she can do. It's just a superhero gift, right? You can swim in like fucking 30-degree water. I don't know. Fucking you're cooler than I am. Like,
no, that's awesome.
Dude, it's like, and that's kind of like, I don't know. That's a little bit of a way to kind of, I don't know.
Yeah. So I think it's important. And also I think creature comforts also, to me, like that kind of goes to like some things just around your house that make you comfortable. Like maybe it's your lazy boy recliner, or maybe it's some TV show that you just like, and maybe it's a stupid TV show.
Yeah.
Or like comfort foods. So kind of on that topic, Steve.
Oh yeah. What's up?
What are some of your creature comforts? Not foods. We'll get to that in a second. Creature comforts, like just things around your house, or things, or maybe there's something at your parents' house or something somewhere that just make you happy. It's like a hug for your soul.
I'm trying to think about it. Yesterday I was like kind of craving something. Well, you said not foods though.
No, we'll get to I think food is its own. That's a whole
Food's
different.
Definitely its own.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking like, I mean, you kind of like, you love going home and having your pool, especially on a hot day. You like sitting in your raft, and maybe that's kind of one of your creature comforts.
The biggest creature comfort that I ever have is that I'll come home, and as soon as I get home, I'll just get into a pair of like board shorts, and then put on a basketball jersey, and like I'm good. Like that's my like go-to. And in fact, you probably, if you've been around San Diego, you've probably seen that guy rolling around with like long black hair, and that's me.
That's Steve. You met Steve, and you just didn't know it.
People made fun of me. The people that I work with, they make fun of me all the time because they go, "Wow, you came to someone's house, a party event, and this is what you wore." And I'm like, "This is what I always wear." I'm not a big shoe person. I used to like collect a lot of shoes. I used to collect a lot of sports memorabilia. I don't do that anymore. And I certainly have a shit ton of hats.
You do have, how many do you have? Like more than 200?
How many hats do I have?
Yeah.
About like 100 plus, like probably about 150 or something like
that. All right.
I know we talked about this on an earlier episode, but yeah, I can't even remember now. I put them all in a box. I put them in the garage, and I said, I'm going to save these for my son or for my daughter, whoever wants them at least at some given point. But no more. No more hats coming into this house.
You wore a hat here.
Yeah.
You're not wearing it now.
No.
What is it? Is it a PBR hat?
It's a Pabst Blue Ribbon and O'Neill trucker hat, but you use it as my surf hat because I like surfing. And it's like one of those throwaways, where you can get it all salty and sweaty and like, bleached out by the sun and not even care. And I actually run in this hat a lot because I love trucker hats to run in.
You have to, because I've tried working out in like fitted hats that aren't. Dude, by the way, I love fitted mesh hats.
Yeah.
Fitted mesh hats are the shit. Fitted truckers.
Yeah.
Because I don't love the snapback, although I went through a phase where I didn't love snapbacks. Now I don't really care anymore. I'll do whatever.
I don't really care anymore.
But dude, if you're gonna work out or run in a hat, I feel like the mesh is key.
Dude,
because the other one just makes
key.
your head too hot.
So
and I think I have a hot head, because like I'll wear a beanie to work out if it's like 50 degrees in the morning and I'm working out outside. Sure. But even then, by the time I'm done with my workout, like my head is hot.
Yeah, and that beanie's off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
I've run in full fitted hats. I used to live in DC, and that was part of like my training. I used to get like really, really super hot, like training for heat runs. It was like I would wear a full on baseball fitted hat made out of that polyester nylon material, and run around. And then I would just see how high my sweat mark would go on it every day. Like that was me, you know what I mean? Because I was just like, okay, crap. If it went level, if I drank 2 liters before I ran, and then the sweat level went up to the middle of the hat, and if I drank another liter, it's like, oh, and even a hotter day, I would see how high it would go. That's how I would test it.
The last time I did one of those, I was doing some volunteer work for the church, and I did that thing where we're doing like all the landscaping and shit, and I wore my fitted that sort of like army green SD hat. And I was so sweaty by the end of that like 2.5 hours or whatever we were there. Like there was literally sweat dripping off of the brim.
Hell yeah, dude. That just means you're doing work.
Yeah.
But that's also like, that's kind of like, I don't know. That's you making yourself uncomfortable doing something for the good of everybody else.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was me trying to give back. It's part of me trying to make my life a little better.
I'm trying to also figure out what is it that makes me comfortable though? Like, yeah, I mean,
so honestly, you're board shorts and a jersey. I am a basketball shorts, not really just whatever, workout shorts, and either a cutoff shirt or like a wife beater.
I think I've been here, for 70 some odd weeks. We've been doing this, and I think I don't think I've seen you wear like a full t-shirt, maybe like twice. I've seen you in scrubs more. But then
I wear scrubs sometimes because that's what I wear to work most of the time. Occasionally I wear a suit or suitish kind of thing. But most of the time I wear scrubs to work.
And by far, your outfit has always been that sleeveless, dude. Black. Black is like one of your creature comfort.
Black is my creature comfort.
And
black or like dark blue or dark gray.
Your beard is your creature comfort.
My
too.
beard is kind of
I've
like.
ever seen you.
I'm trying to. I tried to like kind of shape it the other day. I don't know if I did a good job or not.
Well, it looks like in the shape of a beard.
Long, and I kind of like shortened this up, so it kind of. I have like a fade to my beard.
All right.
Yeah, so the beard is a creature. I think your hair.
My hair is
your long
definitely
hair is a creature comfort.
I'm afraid to cut it. Yeah,
you were just telling me today how you were thinking about cutting it, and you decided not to.
But wait, is this making me better though, or does it make me worse? Because one of the things that has always inspired me is that when I remembered Lenny Kravitz, Lenny Kravitz, famous musician, and I remembered hearing a story about him, and he always had 1993 or 1994. He had those long dreads, and they were like cool. That was part of his style. But I remember he was either with like Lisa Bonet or somebody like that, and then she's like, "Oh, it's got to go." Like he was trying to do a transformation, and then he was like, "Ah, but I want to keep." And she's like, "No, we got to cut this hair. We got to cut it hair right now." And it was almost like when he did that, he felt more free because he wasn't no longer indebted to that hair. You know what I mean? It did not define him anymore.
Maybe, yeah.
And so it's almost like
think about Modest Yahoo. Remember him?
Yeah.
Dude, when he shaved his head and shaved his beard, you're like, who the fuck is that?
Oh, I don't even remember that.
Oh,
I think isn't he not allowed to? Because isn't that a religion? I mean, well, you're allowed to do whatever you want to, but sometimes religious the purposes.
I mean, I don't know that his religion was.
Wasn't he a Hasidic Jew?
Yeah, but I don't know if he was like. I mean, I think he represented it, but I don't know if he was maybe like following all the. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I don't know. Either which way, one of the biggest things is that, you know what, it's almost like sometimes your creature comforts are great because they do make you feel as though you have made it, right? Oh,
yeah,
I've made it. I've got a full rack of ribs in the fridge every single day because that's what I buy. Oh, because that's what I like. Oh, that's what makes me happy. But then also sometimes they can kind of sink you down. They can kind of slow up the works of what your true potential really, really could be. Now,
yeah, for sure.
It's like, how hard do you push yourself? I don't know. Holy shit. It's like, how hard can you go? I mean, I'm sure you could touch the ends of the earth if you really, really wanted to, but sometimes with greater risk comes great reward, but sometimes with greater risk comes more fucking risk. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, Jesus, like you could really, really lose it all.
And sometimes you can.
And sometimes you can't.
I mean, the greatest success stories come with, a few of those along the way.
History is written by the winners, right?
That's also true.
This is also true. That's also true. But I think it's just, if you're listening to this podcast and you're like, well, are they rambling about, like, I don't know, me trying to, taking me out? Are they trying to convince me to get outside of my comfort zone? Are they trying to tell me to go into a comfort zone?
We're trying to tell you to do a little bit of both.
Yeah. I think the one thing I would say is that, hey, being in my position right now, I would say this: I'm not necessarily a person that presses the page or needs to press the page forward all the time. But if you are comfortable, people would probably die. A lot of people around the world would probably die to be where you are. So enjoy it, maintain it, keep it going. Like, don't like look a gift horse in the mouth, because I think you're right. With a downturn of culture, society, or the stock market, it all could be gone in an instant. But I think the biggest part for anything is that you just, enjoy your comfort while you can. Because honestly, at some given point, maybe it kind of goes away,
Well, yeah, and I mean, just think of what comforts you have, and if you were to lose it all, make sure you have some of those around. I mean, if you were to lose all the stuff that maybe not that important in the long run, but yeah, then what do you have around? I know that I'd at least hopefully still have a roof over my head. I have these two stupid dogs, my friend Steve. And some
I'm not hanging around you. I'm out.
Oh, Steve's out.
I'm out, bro.
Steve's a fair weather friend.
I'm a fair weather friend,
God
dude.
Damn it.
Wait,
okay.
What? You're not making tacos anymore? I'm out.
Oh, dude, I'll still make tacos, man.
No, I don't want no broke-ass tacos.
You just don't have to know where the meat came from.
I don't want no broke-ass possum tacos.
Possum tacos, raccoon tacos.
I don't want rat tacos.
Pigeon tacos. Is this coyote? What? Where did you get a coyote, Tim?
This meat seems so gamey.
I think I hit it with my car.
Doesn't even smell.
Okay, so speaking of that,
yeah,
let's get into comfort foods.
All right.
What are some of your comfort foods, Steve? Now, I think comfort foods, I think like mac and cheese. Like for me, lasagna is a huge one, just because my mom's side of the family comes from some Italian descent, so my mom makes this bomb ass lasagna. So that just reminds me of home and my mom and family gatherings and shit.
All right.
But just in general, I think comfort foods are, well, again, I've used this term too many times already.
Steak and eggs,
again.
mac and cheese, mashed
potatoes. It's like a hug for your soul. So, Steve, what foods hug your soul?
Dude, I love white rice. I used to hate it when I was a kid, but I'm Chinese and I own it. Hey, Asian people out there, you love your white rice too? Jasmine? Or you don't say Cal Rose. If you say Cal Rose, get out of here.
What's wrong with Cal Rose? Isn't that just a brand?
No. It's like a type of. I think it's a type of brand.
Jasmine. What is jasmine rice? Is a type, right?
It's like really, really super fragrant. It's long.
What
grain.
about
It's
basmati?
Basmati I really like, but it's really dry, meaning that like it doesn't stick together. It just
I like the rice that sticks to each other.
Yeah, well, you probably like sticky rice, like they find in Japanese sushi and stuff like that.
Yeah, but just like normal rice, but that's kind of sticky. Would that be like jasmine rice, pretty much?
Jasmine rice is pretty sticky too. But
I don't mean
sticky
I don't mean
rice.
sushi sticky. I just mean like it'll clump up a little bit. Yeah.
I hope that you're right.
So then, do you eat your white rice plain, or are we talking about like as a bed for some protein?
As a bed, like
or
pasta,
some?
like Italian people love pasta, like pasta with
Okay, I do. I dig rice.
Buttered noodles. I don't care. Pasta. I like white rice.
Where do you stand on? So what's wrong with brown rice?
Nothing's wrong with brown rice. Sometimes I feel like brown rice. Brown rice is a little too chewy.
Yeah,
and
it's like little
cardboard
pellets.
If you ask me what kind of gets me going, if there's like a smell of like, I mean, honestly, it all kind of relates back to when you were a little kid, right? So if there's a smell of like, and I don't know, I've cooked jasmine rice thousands of times, but the way my mom will cook it is just, I don't know, it's just, I mean, that's really where the comfort comes from. Is that I'll come in home and I'll smell like that rice cooker going, and I'll be like, oh damn, and I'm like, oh okay. And then, I don't stir fry. I'm just a pizza, Woodstock's pizza. Oh
you do love your Woodstock's pizza. Can you explain to people who don't live in California what Woodstock's pizza is?
Woodstock's pizza for us in Santa Barbara, you grew up with Rusty's Pizza, and you grew up with like Woodstock's, so that was for the college kids, and there was only one. And then you grew up with like Domino's and like Pizza Hut, and that's all going to grow up well and good. But if you wanted like local chain pizza, every single pizza party, every single
Rusty's or
soccer
Woodstock's
thing was like at Rusty's.
Yeah.
But I remembered I was in high school and I discovered Woodstock. So imagine just being fed like the same old day in and day out.
And Rusty's is good.
And Rusty's is good.
It's good. I mean, it's definitely better than like Domino's.
Their little thin crust thing, delicious.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Delicious. But I remember it as like as soon as I found out that there was like Woodstock's pizza, I was like, holy crap. There was like a little spice in the sauce. There's like it was a thicker bread pizza.
And don't they do and they do a little bit but it's not too doughy, but their crust is a little bit thicker.
Their crust is a little bit thicker. And there's really only like 7 locations in the state of California.
Yeah, but I mean was Isla Vista the first one?
No, I don't know if it was like Chico or Davis.
Maybe one of the San Diego ones was one of the first ones.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But either which way, they have 2 locations in San Diego.
But they very much gravitate towards college campuses.
Towns.
Yeah. So like that was like the college
and not even
thing
like
to
your
do,
mainstream
like,
UCLA.
Because they serve like pitchers of beer too.
Yeah.
It was like
you go in there, you sit on like 2x4 wood, like like wood things.
It's not nice.
That's all been
it's
carved and tagged out. Yeah, someone like hand painted like some shit.
The bathroom
on the side.
like has like part of a mirror because someone punched it and broke it.
Yeah, exactly. And then like the toilet, like you have to hold the thing down for like 3 minutes for it to
and
really.
And if I was a girl and I had to sit, I would just skip the whole toilet.
You would just go. We're gonna get this to go. We're gonna get this to go. I can't sit here.
Yeah.
We got to get this to go.
Unless you're a female who has perfected peeing like a guy, which is fine. That's cool. Props to you.
I've never. But either which way, that was like definitely one of my comfort things, and I've held on to Woodstock's. I have shirts. I have multiple shirts. I have shirts in all colors from Woodstock's Pizza. Shout out to you, Woodstock's Pizza. Free promo on my end.
I like that. I dig that.
I
dig anything on the grill too. I just like grilling stuff.
Hell yeah.
And tacos. I like tacos.
Well, you're in the right place for it, San Diego.
I know.
Buongiorno.
And I like making tacos.
But yeah, dude, those are your comfort foods?
I think lasagna.
Like lasagna and tacos?
I think pizza for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't grow up, my mom didn't make like a lot of, my mom made a lot of stuff. There wasn't really one thing. We didn't really stick to like, except for the lasagna thing. It wasn't like a cultural thing, but it was like, a lot of protein and vegetables and stuff and whatnot. And, but it wasn't like, it's not like roast and mashed potatoes or like fucking,
Baked Alaska. That was my favorite. Get out of here.
Is that where you light the ice cream on fire or some shit?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Dude, French people.
I don't fucking get it.
You know? But either which way, man. The coolest thing in the world is that, we can talk about them, and they do make me happy. Like, I would say that, like, if I had a prisoner's, like, last meal or something like that, it would definitely be an extra large Woodstock's pizza with wild bread and a Cinnabread. And then you put pepperoni on that with extra cheese and then cheese going into the crust too. Game over. I'll just die of a heart attack before I even get to take it to. I would die of a heart attack before I even get taken to the chair.
Carbapalooza. So you would just pass out while you were in the chair because you'd be so carved up.
I think my heart would just clog and it would be like boom, 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 boom. And then I'd be like, I'm dead. I saved you guys some time.
They would think you're dead, but then
don't punch the clock, executioner. He's already dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
Man.
No overtime tonight.
I know.
Yeah, Steve's
take
already
that,
dead.
Shawshank. Oh, we're not gonna. I mean, wait, was it Shawshank? Oh no, take that, Green Mile.
Green Mile.
Oh,
God.
Anyways, that's all I got. God love it.
That's pretty much all I got too. So what is what is it? Is there an alcoholic beverage or a beverage of non-alcoholic nature that
used to be PBR, my friends? It used to be Pabst Blue Ribbon. That's why I'm repping their hat. That's why I even bought this hat. But guess what? It turned into the only beer I ever drank.
Ballast Point
805. Dude.
Oh, 805.
805 because it's from us. I feel like when I drink that 805,
I feel like if something is just branded from your hometown, like that's automatically going to be a creature comfort for you.
If you're from Chicago and you drink that 312 beer, I support you. But it's not mine.
If you're from Sacramento and you drink that 916 beer, go for it.
You know there's a 916 beer out there. But either which way, I will say this. We
don't have a 619 beer. I mean, we probably do that I just don't know about.
I don't know.
But we do have a lot of breweries that are from here.
Yeah,
I mean, Ballast Point is from here. And, I mean, Cutwater's from here.
What San Diego does more than anything is they don't go 619. They always, this is a 619 lager. They go, oh, it's a San Diego blonde.
Yeah,
you know
or Coronado. I mean, there's a Coronado brewery.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ballast Point is actually a point somewhere.
It's the Orange Avenue wit. You know what I mean? You're like,
well, it's kind of that more like it's a little bit douchey, a little bit bougie, but we name it after like some little part.
Some little street in Coronado. Yep. And it's like if people started a Mission Valley Brewery, they'd be like, oh, it's the Homeless River.
It would be like
ale. You know what I mean?
Homeless River Ale. It's the Galita Slough Ale. There's your swamp cast, the Galita Slough. God, that was horrible.
Welcome to here episode of the Swampcast. My name is Jewel Jessup, and I'm here with Tim and Steven.
Oh, God.
Binga bonga, binga bonga. It's just a jaw harp intro. I know you're tired. Jonga dinga donga.
It's like...
You can't do it. Actually, Rob Schneider's character stays, dude.
And it was, what's his name? Character from that same movie. He was like, homeless, where you make it? You'd like to see homos naked? No, homeless, where you make it?
Oh, welcome to the Swampcast. I know you're tired. You can do it.
I feel like he just went into like a didgeridoo or something. What is that? What is that?
That's the swamps of Australia.
A didgeridoo is the African. What is like the Australian thing that makes that noise?
It's the
like
it's
just
fucking,
watch Crocodile Dundee and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
It is. It's like a fucking thunder stick or something. I think it is a didgeridoo, isn't it? Oh man.
What's that rain stick with all the little things in it?
The little like pieces of like quinoa that just fall down on the hollow wood.
It's dried. It's basmati rice.
I know it's just fucking basmati rice just falling down. That shit's Calrose. This is a thunderstorm. It's a thunderstorm rain. Put that Calrose rice in there.
Oh gosh. So wait, is there a difference between Indian rice and Middle Eastern rice and Asian rice?
Oh yeah, I think Indian rice is drier. It just doesn't stick together. The starch levels are different, you know. But I swear to God, if you ever watch Tony Bourdain, big ups, you're gonna see him go out to like Asia and just like look at all these like brands of rice. And there's red rice, dude. Some of the islanders like the Guamanians. Yeah, dude.
Black rice is crazy,
dude. I'm telling you, there's so many different types of rice. Like, for as many times as you can think about it, for as many different colors, for as many different whatever as you can think about it, there's that kind of rice out there. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Rainbow rice.
Yeah,
there's blue rice from New Mexico.
It's probably like
sponsored by Breaking Bad.
That's so funny. I was thinking you were doing like blue kettle, like blue kernel corn or something like that.
Oh, they do have that too, though.
But there's probably such a dark purple rice that it probably does come out blue. Who knows?
I'm sure Monsanto or Bayer now. I'm sure they can make rice in any color. They just add some fucking GMO to it.
Project Reclamation Swampcast brought to you by Monsanto's blue rice.
No, it's not. Brought to you by Tim and Steve and Podbelly Podcast Network.
We love you, Podbelly.
On that note,
pig out.
I think we're done. Go pig out on podcast. Hit up our website, projectreclamationpodcast.com. Go to podbelly.com and check it out. Go pig out on podcasts. On that note, be good.
Bingo bongo. Welcome to the Stage Podcast. My name is
Crickets.
Tim. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling fine, Steven. It's great out here on this. Oh shit! There's a crocodile.
There'll be a gator right here.
Oh wait, that's a gator.
Them
I don't even know the
boys,
difference.
Them crocodile. Look at them, all those nutria flying around here. Whoa, you got that shotgun.
Is that a cicada? Oh
That's
no,
a-
wait. Sorry, that's a python.
We're gonna have cicada salad today. Bongo, bingo, bongo.
All right, y'all. Peace out.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.